Greetings. Welcome to Two-Pack Gummies and a Microphone. That's what I've decided. I decided that, I've never just like introduced the show by the title of her show or videos by the title of the channel, my channel. I could always have just said, hey, welcome to Two-Pack Gummies and a Microphone. A title taken from a BACH song. I've never discussed that before either. The gummies have kicked in. I'm taking these, and I have to thank Gregory and Leslie. They have, along with some other people who are not like family, they are my chosen family, and they have helped me tremendously because it's been very shitty time. And I took the last 4 days off of work. I'm unpaid FMLA. And I've been doing that more often because I feel this growing agoraphobia. And along with the fact that I still haven't received my methotrexate in the syringe, or, in the EpiPen methotrexate. So I'm 2.5 doses. On Tuesday it'll be 3 doses missed that. And I've stopped taking the biologic that seemed to be working because they want to see a dermatologist about my elbow and my knee rash. And I had to cancel that dermatology appointment because, and this is a good thing, and I've done this despite being in a very dark place. And just agoraphobia, I had it when I was married, during my marriage, when we lived out west. It's not good. It's not fun. Now, I did Denise Austin. I exercised inside, even though I still smoked at that point. I was completely unhealed. But at least, anyway, so I was doing Denise Austin videos as exercise inside. And I also realized my RA was progressing, even though I hadn't been officially. It'd be another 5 years probably before I became the official doctor, official diagnoses of that and secondary Sjogren syndrome. But they, out west, they get a lot of sunshine. And while I don't have a problem with that, the sun is lovely, and nothing against the sun. A side effect from all the autoimmune diseases I had was really, really strong sensitivity to light. And of course, I couldn't buy myself glasses or go to the doctor and get prescription sunglasses, or even get the little flippies that I have now to put on my glasses. And that didn't help matters. I couldn't keep my eyes open. It's hard to go places. I did walk to the library, which was at the top of our street, basically. And even then, I thought everyone was watching me. So I had paranoia too. It was fun times. I can't imagine why that marriage didn't work. Anyway, sorry, I have to keep moving my legs. But I'm trying Dr. Greger's suggestion. I have his link down below because he is where I go to for nutrition and trustworthy nutrition and health information. I trust him, as do many others. I recommend his website and his books. How Not to Die is, I think, his classic. And then he's got cookbooks for each of those books. And he has saved a lot of lives through food. My life, it's not a picnic right now, but I still am In fact, I'm trying to take better care of myself, despite the fact that every brain cell wants me to sabotage my life. And I've also been on this, the suicidal ideation has been active. But I told, I got things to tell. Anyway, what you saw me do at the beginning of this episode video was lip sync to Barry Manilow's Could It Be Magic, which is the title of this video. And I didn't choose it for its meaning, because it's about this man who loves this woman so much he wants her to go away with him. I mean, it's not what I've been feeling. It's not the mood I've been in. That's not my era, except it is my era, 70s music. And I was not, again, I'm not doing great, though I did have a lovely phone chat with Leslie today, and she has always made me feel better. She inspires me every day. She's my family. She actually said that today on the phone, and I'm just so tearing up because, like I said, she and Greg really, and I had the courage to ask for help. And it's amazing when you do, sometimes you get the help. And I went to the only two people I really trust completely and love. I try to love everyone in the world unconditionally. But, I mean, Leslie even said to me today, she said, it's unconditional love. So thank you. And then, I was listening to music because I decided I was going to make a video. Because it's been a while, because I haven't been doing great. Even though I've been home, there are times that I've almost done one, because I had like this breakthrough, for me at least. And, but then I always just kind of petered out. Oh, on another, this is a positive note, I am fortunate enough to have access to Canopy, and I am now watching, I haven't quite finished the Montalbano series, because I have an episode and a half left, and I can't know if he and Livia get married. I don't know. Anyway, but I basically watched it. I haven't watched that last episode and a half, because it's getting to the end of that series, and I don't want to know what's happened yet. Anyway, I found out there's a young Montalbano series, and I was like, oh my gosh. And of course, he's just as beautiful. So it's a prequel. It's a young Montalbano when he first becomes police chief in this gorgeous, ancient city of Sicily, on the ocean. I guess it's all of Sicily on the ocean. It might all be on the ocean. I'm not really good geographically speaking. And so you meet him as a younger person, and Trixie, Katya. You would love this. It's an Italian, so the Italian language is so fucking sexy and beautiful. And of course, you have these really attractive Italian men, and women. The women are absolutely, and nudity, female nudity is of it. So I think I saw a little male butt, but it's mostly, the rest of the world doesn't, have a heart attack when they see a woman's breasts on TV, and try to shame us into thinking that that this is something, that our bodies are shameful. So I like that about international. Not that I choose films and TV series. I just know usually that in European films and films from just about everywhere, but America, are a little more relaxed about the nudity thing. And actually, why the reason I was listening to music and I'd actually picked out a song before, but it was a sad song. And I'm in a sad mood. And I thought, well, then that goes with it. But at the same time, I was like, I don't want to encourage it in myself or in others, really, because I listen to and watch Heather Cox Richardson on YouTube mostly. And I find she's a historian, and her political education and knowledge is just, well, she's a history professor at Boston University, I believe. And she just really is able to break things down in an intelligent but simple way that doesn't take away any of the import of it, but something that someone like me, who's not a history major, even though I'm fascinated by history, I don't know nearly enough about it. And of course, it's triggering for me to read any nonfiction that's not like, I haven't been doing well, so I haven't been reading as much, but I am almost halfway through, and I just recommended her to Leslie, because like political books, nonfiction right now, oh gosh, I can't. Anyway, so she is a news source for me, and I've actually been able to watch some Daily Show, like shorts on YouTube. And there are a few people I follow on Instagram, but I really try not to go on there that often. Of course, when I start listening to music or something like that, or like today, I did scroll the feed, and I can only do that for so long. But like I said, it puts you in a trance, and you don't realize that you've done it that long, and you keep just saying 5 more minutes. It's really not good. Which is why I purposely went, okay, Lisa, let's set this aside. You don't need to know everything because you can't save everything. And as Heather Cox Richardson said, quoted, this was an episode of Jon Stewart's podcast called Podcast Thing or something like that. Can't remember what it was. But I'll link it below if you want. It's on YouTube, which is where I saw it. Came up on my feed, big surprise. And so they're discussing everything that's going on right now, and she's giving excellent answers. And John asked something about, like, how do we sustain ourselves as we, first of all, live through this, and hopefully, second of all, abolish, things start happening, arrests start happening, justice, we have to help, how, what do they say, justice bends, or fate bends towards justice, or life bends towards justice, whatever. We have to help it do that, too. And that's, in whatever capacity we can. We really all need to do that. Now, I'm poor and I have diseases that are chronic and take a lot of my energy and time, but I still feel like I have to be. And that's kind of, beside being a memoir, I wanted this channel to be like a place where I could talk about these things that affect all of us, whether we want to admit it or not. And if it doesn't affect you, it should concern you that it affects one of your fellow Americans, or anyone here who came here, because the Statue of Liberty says, give us your tired, your poor, your, dispossessed, or, but she also said, in ways to sustain ourselves, we need to consume art, not consume, that doesn't sound right, because I don't like this. But we need to delve into art. We need to remember that all art is what has always tried to teach us, has shown us what's going on in the world, whether, and a few people take it to heart and try to do things, and the rest, well, of course, our education system sucks, and they're banning the books that would help. But any book, read a book, pick up a book and read. It can be manga, it can be whatever you want it to be, it can be about whatever you want it to be. You can get it from the library. And I took this from an IG post I saw, because this woman had it. She'd had it, and I think I reposted it, I think, because, first of all, her delivery is spot on. And she just said, you people are stupid. If I can find it, I will post it on my IG channel, or link it below, because she was so spot on. She has like a whiteboard, and she's like, go to your library, go to your bookstore, borrow a book from a friend, anything. But she said, sit your ass down and read that bitch. She goes, because I've had it. You people are stupid. You just have to see it. It's just, the woman is speaking truths. Sorry, I had to clean this. I'm doing this while I'm high. You know this about me. Anyway, Heather Cox Richardson says, kind of basically, in the same kind of vein, she's like, we need to immerse ourselves in art. First of all, art teaches us, is trying to teach us through its different mediums, the people who created or built on those mediums or engaged in those mediums, whether it's writing and what kind of writing, fiction writing, essay, memoirs, artwork of there are myriad forms of art out there, and they either predict or they mirror what's going on in the world, and also give us hope, because there are people who see what's going on and they're making art about it. They're expressing their outrage through their art, their outrage and their confusion, and that's their job, and I wish it was my job. But I guess I'm doing it here in my own very small way. But thank you all 13 subscribers. I really appreciate it. Seriously, I do. Like I said, first and foremost, it's a memoir for me to look back on and go, oh, Jesus. Anyway, so I'm going to try to allow myself to not feel guilt for the rest of this weekend for taking time off, because I have been, well, it's funny because a nurse called me today and she said, I'd seen your last message, because like I said, I've been having issues with this specialty pharmacy that my insurance company requires we use, and this pharmacy has a 1-star average rating, and it's become crystal clear why. I learned that right from the get-go. I was like, oh God, this is really all. Anyway, and this has been particularly hard because I can't take the biologic that they put me on because of this rash, because they want to make sure the rash doesn't come from that. So I'm off both medications. And so I was telling them, this is really affecting my mental health too, and it makes my RA worse, and my anxiety is through the roof, because I have been through that, where I've been without the medicine I need, mainly levothyroxine, because they radioactive iodined my goiter that I had. I mean, I never noticed it. But a doctor noticed it or said that's what it was. And so they radiated it to oblivion. And I wish I had. Anyway, there are times I've gone way too long without my medication. And that was because I wouldn't go to the doctor and get the blood work done. Fucked up people. That was during my 10 years. Oh goodness. Sorry, X. But then I had no. Anyway, it's over and done with. I'm sorry for any pain I caused. I was not well. No one in my family is. But I thought that I would. Oh, so, sorry. But I did want to do this too, and I can't remember what I thought. Oh, right here. But she said, so I was listening to music, and as I get high, the music sounds even better. And I loved that song. And what it also meant to me was, it reminded me of, well, as soon as you hear the lyrics, well, not everybody will know this, but the beginning, or not lyrics, the beginning music is Chopin. And I can't remember what piece of music it is of his, but it's a masterpiece. And this song, Could It Be Magic, is considered Barry Manilow's masterpiece, his magnus opus. And so for, the fact that he took a song, music from the 18th century, assuming it was the 18th century, late 18th century or mid 18th century. I can't remember when Chopin. I feel like it was late 18th century. Say down in the comments. Anyway, it was a long time ago. And his, and it's a beautiful song. Barry Manilow. It gives me goosebumps every time I listen to it, and because it crescendos, and then it falls back down, and it ends with Chopin again, it ends with a very simplified, but I mean, not to poke fun at, not to criticize Barry Manilow's piano playing skills by any sense of the imagination. He's incredible. He's just incredible entertainer, fabulous singer. I think he used to tour and do bathhouse. I don't know if tours, but he performed bathhouses with Bette Midler. So he, I love Barry Manilow too. And it's funny because I was listening to my soundtrack, and you could find these songs all on my soundtrack. And I heard some early that I hadn't heard in a long time. I had the album actually, a Prince album from 1979. It has the song "I Want to Be Your Lover," and I was like, "Damn, that's a good song." And so I posted on my IG with the album cover, with the name of the person I like, you know what I mean? I reposted, or whatever, And to go from that just shows you how wide my. Now I have not delved into opera, it's just too much. It's too much. I feel sure. Not that I'm dissing opera. To be able to sing opera, the vocal ability, the range, the strength it takes to be an opera singer. So all respect to opera. I just, it's a little too much for my ears. Okay. Anyway. So that's why I chose that song, because it took me, like art does in many ways. Like books take me out of a bad spot. Meditation music, Lily Bell snuggling next to me. And sometimes I just watch her sleep, or feeling that purr, and feel her snuggle deeper into me. That's going to be less frequent as it was up in this summer. But or my friend calling me and checking in on me, and not only that, but a nurse called in because, like I said, the message I sent that I talked about earlier, I was like, and I told my psychiatrist, oh, can I just tell you quickly, you know, I had a red flag about my current psychiatrist from the get-go, because when I first spoke to him, I cried a lot, and he kept telling me not to cry, to stop crying, and that is a huge red flag. I mean, I wasn't like, but I was crying, and you don't tell someone not to cry, especially when you're a male. Don't tell a female client not to cry. And then, and we used to do Zoom sessions, which is horrible because I think he uses some like AI fake living room to talk. It's weird. I think they say all psychiatrists have psychiatrists. Anyway, but the last thing he said to me, because I talked to him, the last time I talked to him, I canceled our next appointment because I had a more important appointment for me right now, and much needed. But I was telling him how not having Rasuvo was worsening my mental health too. And he then proceeded to say, you should, because he goes, I have other patients with RA, rheumatoid arthritis, if you're not aware. And I guess he's told them this too, and for some reason this makes him like an expert when I have had this disease for 25 years. I will tell you who's the expert of this disease, anyone who's lived with it, and not the doctor, especially not a psychiatrist. But he actually said to me, oh, you should like download all your like records and everything into Chat GPT AI for some alternatives, solutions or medications or, programs for RA. And inside, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You want me? You think it's a good idea to download all your personal information into Chat GPT IA to get alternative RA treatments? Don't you think, having this disease for 25 years, I haven't done plenty of that on my own and without the help of artificial intelligence that I know of? I'm not gonna go. They're gonna tell me like eat lizards and shit. Like I'm not letting IA knows enough about me, or AI. Oh, I just got who said that? The Department of, well, I'm not the department at the head of the Department of, the hell is she's Department of Education. So I can get away with being high and saying IA, AI instead of IA. What the fuck is it? No, it is AI. I said IA, which is Iowa, right? Isn't that Iowa's abbreviation? No shade, Iowa. Never been to Iowa. I wouldn't mind going to Iowa. I'd actually like to see all the states. But not as much as I would like to leave the United States for a while. Or just for a bit. Anyway, that's why I chose that song, was because she said, we've got to focus on the beautiful things, the things that we believe, things that give music. I'll tell you what saved me in this life. as much, if not more so, than any medication I've been on. And that is animals, including my cats, all animals, including my cats, music. I told you about the time I was driving to, was this my second attempt at school? Or third? I can't remember. At college. And I suddenly dropped into a inky black suicidal depression while I'm driving my 1979 Plymouth Horizon hatchback. But I had put or my stepfather had probably helped, if not, put in the cheap radio. And so I put in Sam Cooke Live, the album Sam Cooke Live at the Harlem Square Club, 1963. Sadly, he died in 1964 because that album saved my life. So music saves me, all animals, including and all of my past animal companions. Nature saves me, which is why I need to get out of the city because there's just not enough. Fixing, we don't need to fix potholes. We need to get rid of the streets, make the streets for pedestrians and nature and bicyclists. And maybe a rail system instead of the bus system, or a bus system, or whatever, just something the cars need to go. And I voted for Mamdani, and he sounds like he's trying to do a lot of stuff and good stuff, and that's good, but we need to, I know it's a lot to take on, but when you become mayor, people just want, and I want cars out of the city, and I know I'm not alone in that. Anyway, I didn't read anything my sister wrote to me, and I've written her back. But anyway, I'm not going to read everything she said, obviously, but I have to kind of like ruefully laugh because, or not ruefully, it was kind of sad, but in her first note to me after I wrote her, she wrote, "Happy to learn you're still alive, although dealing with deep wounds." Dearest Jill. Oh, and then she did write, "You have a beautiful soul, spirit. I love your nurturing nature." No one has ever said that to me. So thank you, Jill. And it made me happy because my calendar is the 2026 calendar for equine advocates. And look, and I'll tell you about this too. They send free like greeting cards and with matching address labels from time to time. And so I sent, and I seem to remember Jill took horseback riding when she was a kid. I don't want anyone riding horses anymore. Leave the horses alone. You don't. And if you're like, but we treat them really well, yeah? Do you want a bit put in your mouth and then your head yanked this way and that way and be kicked in the sides with spurs, or doesn't have to be spurs, and then have your hooves have like steel or whatever silver shoes put on you? You know how painful it is? So you nail those fuckers in. Leave wild horses wild. And what that means is the Bureau of Land Management needs to fuck off. Read about what they do. They round up all these wild horses, and they go to these horrible live auctions and are treated terribly and are sold for meat, probably overseas. if not here, um, to have more pasture land for ranchers. See, we're just destroying wildlife and our shared earth, and that seems like such not just a terrible thing to do, but not a really stupid thing to do, right? You know that joke, like, don't shit when you sleep? It's as simple as that. Don't do things that hurt this world. I mean, I don't have kids, but I'm doing it, not only for myself, but for everyone. You know, it's me, another way of me being compassionate. Anyway, so I thought it was really cute that the second card she sent me, it was a portrait. Farm Animal Selfie by Howard Robinson. That's the artist on this card. And so I thought it was sweet that she recognized my love of animals. And what did she write in this one? I feel like hopefully I won't cry. She asked me if I was sane. She said she can't imagine living in New York City. You would hate it, because I don't like it anymore either. Tell you the truth, the only thing that I like is that it's the public transportation. But there are cars in the city which don't belong in the city. And I doubt and it's the noise, the danger, and the noise and air pollution, which are also dangers. They're so fucking loud. And the CO2 emissions. I mean, I have friends at work who, their asthma, I'm sure, is from what they eat too. If you have asthma and you eat any sort of dairy, go without dairy. Just for a week. Try 7 days without dairy. Try some vegan dairy. There's some very good vegan dairy out there. And even just in the grocery stores. Or just go a week without it. It's not going to kill you. Because dairy has been associated with asthma. It's very inflammatory and it's very mucousy building. It's just not good for you. It's not meant for you. You weren't meant to drink it or eat it in any state. Anyway, and then she sent me a Jehovah's Witness flyer or whatever. So I did send her, because I had ordered these. I'm not Christian. I'm not a person of faith, but I do support work of the Christian Vegetarian Association, because they do what they preach, and they make a very, very valid point. And anyway, so I had ordered some pamphlets for free, I think, or maybe it was $5 or something like that, because I was going to send them to different Christian denominations around here, and I haven't done that yet. But it's been a rough ride for weeks. Did I say that? I did say that. Let me just get a little. It's been a little tight lately, so I had to get Trader Joe's tea. This is the organic blood orange rooibos herbal tea blend, and I'm not going to get. I don't have enough creamer for tonight and tomorrow, so I'm going to get it straight. It's nice and it's fruity because it's blood orange. And I bought some mandarins. I'm trying to buy seasonally, fruit seasonally, what I can handle. And I was able to eat that whole bag before the week was over, because I'm trying not to eat as much if I'm going to have a snack at night, I want it to be healthier. Not that I can't have an occasional treat or whatever, but also I need to watch what I spend. So I will hopefully easily adjust to having mandarins for dessert or dates. Ooh, dates with peanut butter. Yes. I think we do that. Another thing I've been doing, I got this from the latest Forks Over Knives issue. So simple. As the kids today would say, stupid simple or stupid funny. But stupid funny doesn't make sense here, but stupid simple. Rice cakes. Gluten-free. That's the other thing. I realized the tempeh I was eating from Trader Joe's has bulgur in it. So I'd been eating gluten for the past couple weeks. And I was also wondering if maybe that rash is due to that. Because I do have a gluten sensitivity. I have the 2 gene variants for gluten sensitivity. Thank you, 23andMe. Not sponsored, obviously. But they did bring some joy and fascination into my, and the history of it just really, and it made me feel not so alone. I mean, nobody answered any of I think one person did. One distant relative said something or asked for something, information too. But because neither of my parents are in 23andMe, nor is my sister, but hers would just be mine, we'd have the same. And I'm actually going to share that with her. I think she might be interested. That might interest her to see what our ancestry is. I don't know. I find it fascinating. And I'll let her know that I can only see so much now that I don't have a subscription anymore. Maybe someday I get one again, but it fascinates me. It's just to find out, they found our DNA in Viking warrior, like female Viking warrior bodies, or, graves. I think that's cool. You know what I mean? Viking. I mean, I know they raped and pillaged, but so have they're not the first nor last. There was a lot of marauding going on, and it wasn't just them. Though I need to read more about the Vikings, especially now that I know I have Viking blood, which I'm sure a lot of people do. But I just think that's fascinating that they found in some hill in Ireland or in Uzbekistan or Sweden, maybe Denmark. There are bits of my DNA there. So I haven't been there, but part of me is there. And I think that just made me feel like more a citizen of the earth, Just because it's not fun being an American right now. Dare I say it's not fun being an Iranian or, Palestinian right now. Or any other places where bombing and killing innocent people. Just want to make sure I didn't have that rash going on. So let's see. So I brought you up to date on that. And, so anyway, I was glad I sent her a horse card because she wrote me, her mother-in-law had lived with them, I guess as she got older. And she really loved nature and horses. And so it was just kind of a coincidence that I sent her a horse card, and it brought up, she shared a lovely memory, some memories of Joan, because it's hard to live with family. And she even mentioned it. Anyway, maybe I'll write her again. She doesn't have to write me back every time or whatever. I also have some other friends I want to write. Now that I got stamps again, I ordered stamps because I can't take right now time or energy to go to any city office of any kind. But I have 2 positive appointments coming up, and it's starting the wheels turning, which is in the right direction, I believe. And so I have a pact with Leslie that I will go to work on Monday. Like I said, I have to fight this agoraphobia, this growing, and I know what's causing it. Everything I said, and I know what's causing it because I've been there before. And so I will just use all of I would tell myself that I have to, because I told Leslie I would text her from the train station. And once I have to take the trash down anyway. So once I'm down there, I'm just a couple steps outside. And then I can focus on the pigeons and the flowers in bloom and the buds on the trees. There's a lilac tree in one of the apartment complex's garden. Thank you to the people who care for those gardens. I derive much joy. In fact, when that lilac blooms, I will stop and climb on the brick half wall to bury my nose in a lilac, because the smell is just, especially in the middle of the city, it's just, because there's so little green. And I know there's Central Park, but I won't go there until they ban horse-driven carriages and send all the horses to sanctuary. So my taxes go to a huge part of the city that I won't go to on principle, because it's ridiculous. The vast majority of New Yorkers want horse-drawn carriages banned. They don't belong in the city anymore. Then actually cars belong in the city, but we know it's going to take. It's very easy to get rid of this business. You're just getting money laundered or however under the table to keep this cruel, unnecessary practice going. This is another thing that, and I'll stop talking soon, but Heather, I'll put her link down below. She's just very, like I said, she explains things very well, and she knows what she's talking about. It's an impression that I get. In fact, I had mentioned her to a coworker friend of mine a while back, and he mentioned to me recently that he started listening to her. So there you have 2 people and enjoying listening to her. And obviously Jon Stewart knew about her and had her on the show before, but this was the newest one. And Heather Cox Richardson. I just recommend her. I'll put her link down below. I can't remember what else I was going to say about her, except that she just, she really, I think, gets to the point of things. I mean, she's researching all the time. She has to make herself take time. I don't know how she does it, because I can only take her sometimes, And I can only take like her 5-minute shorts, which are wonderful. And I think she may do that on purpose, actually, because then she'll continue like one. So it's in like little bites, so you don't have to do it all at once. I appreciate that if that's what you're doing. If you're not, it's a great idea. Because my mind can't take too much. I stay connected. I know what's going on. Enough about what's going on. Oh, Dr. Greger had mentioned in one of his videos to rub, that studies show that rubbing olive oil on your knees or anywhere you have osteoarthritis was just as effective as taking Advil, if not more so. So I've been doing that. Now, I trust him, and it's not crazy. And if nothing else, you're massaging at least and getting some blood flow and juice in those joints, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. I've been doing it. I mentioned it to Leslie, and she said she might try it too, because she's got OA too. OA has come on like a house of fire, and I know it's a stress too. Anyway, the only one thing I wanted to say is I was reading Angie's story. Angie is a draft cross, and she's the offspring of Barbara. This is quoted from Equine Advocates. I've supported in the past. One of 46 PMU mares. Do you know what PMU means? We rescued in 2003 from a Canadian PMU factory farm. Barbara was in foal at the time of her rescue, and she gave birth to Angie in New York in 2004. PMU stands for pregnant mare's urine. Main ingredient in a lot of like menopause drugs, like Premarin. I just didn't want to take them, but I didn't. Premarin, mare's, pregnant mare's urine. It's actually the name of the drug, and that's exactly what it is. It's pregnant mare's urine. Anyway, they live horrible lives. No official count as to anyway, the main ingredient in ERT and HRT drugs: Premarin, Premplo, and Duavi. Anyway, PMU mares live horrible lives. There's no official count as to the hundreds of thousands or possibly millions of PMU mares and PMU foals who suffered and died since this barbaric industry started in 1942. I'm just saying this, just passing along information to my perimenopausal, menopausal subscribers out there, or anyone who loves somebody going through this process. Today, there are safer prescription medications that do not carry the same serious health risk for women as PMU drugs, because they do, or involve the tragic use and abuse of mares and foals. Anyway, it's a very cruel, outdated, unneeded industry, but it seems humans will just find they'll use any being and every part of that being to make money, to be cruel and make money off of it, to be unbelievably inhumane. Anyway, it's 56:20 or 2. I am going to watch some more Young Montalbano. I'm so excited because all the characters from the first one, you're seeing them for the first time, because you're seeing them as he meets them for the first time. Oh, and he's met Livia. It's just the beginning, and he has a beautiful house. I just love the hand motions. It's just so I'm gonna watch some of that. I'm gonna make some loaded oatmeal because I had tofu scrambled for kind of lunch today, late. Depression isn't great for life. It really is. Well, that's a profound statement if ever I've heard one. But anyway, listen to music, read a book, any book that makes you happy or that you want to read. Sit in nature if you can in any way, shape, or form. Put your feet in the grass. Listen to the birds and the other, and take the earbuds out and like listen to the nature around you, because there is. That's what I have to focus on. On Monday, when I go back to work, I have to focus on the bird song, and I talking, greeting the pigeons and wishing them a good day. I do. And also saying hi to the doggies and seeing all the buds and everything. The city's what nature there is in the city, and the city is coming. I mean, it's always alive. It's dormant, but things are happening all the time. That's part of the process too. But we get to see the fruits of that labor, that underground labor. And so I'm going to hold on to that, and Lily Bell, and music. I'm going to treat this weekend. I'm not going to have guilt over this weekend. It's going to be hard, but I'll feel shame for having to take this time off, because I've been putting my elbows up like that, or my shoulder like that all the time. I have nothing to be ashamed of. And I was open with work about CPTSD. So, and thank goodness I got FMLA for that too, because I thought I better do this, because it's getting bad. And so I wanted to be protected because they only give you so much time, or so many hours, FMLA hours. And that's unpaid hours, which, like I said, I've had to take, which I think is unconscionable, really. But I'm sure they'd argue with that very well with their highly paid lawyers. I'm going to stop here before I get myself in trouble. Anyway, I shall see Lily Bell, or maybe not. There have been times I've come in, but it hasn't been recently because I haven't been going out. But I'm going to go out some point this weekend to get groceries. So, la-di-da. Oh, and pick up prescriptions. Prescriptions that actually get filled up every month without huge hassle that causes great distress in me mentally and physically. And on that note, listen to music, read a book, watch an Italian film or an Iranian film or a Pakistani film. Is that right? Pakistani film? Or Vietnam film, or an old classic. Watch just whatever you want to, and look at some beautiful pieces of art. You don't even have to go outside. At the Met, you can see beautiful, and I'm sure there are whatever, but you could go on the Met's website, or there's so much beautiful art everywhere you look. I hate to say, look at it on a screen, but I'm talking to people who, like me, can't go out to these places. And so that's why I used to go on Pinterest. I haven't been on it nearly as much. I mean, I'm rarely on it now. And, I've heard it's mostly AI or whatever. I still go over there sometimes, and you can usually tell. Well, it usually says AI modified, or if it doesn't, you see some comment that says AI, or sometimes you can just totally tell. But I still enjoy it sometimes. Especially if I'm usually looking at the produce of the month, because I'm trying to eat more seasonally. And so I was just on there recently for that. And you can still go down I just love looking at beautiful gardens and pollinator gardens. I want to have a pollinator garden. and or just native wildflowers. Let's not be just like, who did I hear that from? Must have been on an IG or something. They said, don't, just don't put any wildflowers down. Make sure they're native to your area. And that lesson has been learned, and it's up here with the rest of it. Good luck up there. It's not Mr. Rogers' neighborhood up there right now. But it does help because we need to rest and recover from this active work. And it can be in what you eat, and what you buy, who you choose to buy from, it can just change your perspective on what really matters. And it may sound like petty to say, but when I walk through Soho and I see people like in head to toe Versace, and it's got it written, or Louis Vuitton, and it's just blatantly. First of all, I don't like labels. I don't want to know who made it. You know what I'm saying? And I guess some people call that quiet luxury. No, I call that. Now, and I went through a period too in my teens where Jordan Ash jeans were huge. And I got Sergio Valentes. I didn't get Jordan Ash. They were more expensive. Jill got those. So it's not like I haven't been through the stage of, I used to work at an express. I can only imagine the sweat houses their clothes are still made in if they're around. But, you learn. I learned. And thank goodness. And I also learned from a friend of mine, my veganess friend, Liz. Hey, Liz, if you're watching. Because she's really into off-grid living pollinator gardens. She loves animals. She loves nature. And she is the one who Joyful Vegan did too, but Liz really, I think, was the first to start teaching me things about zero waste. And so and I love that, learning from, so it's not like I was always, and I'm still very imperfect when it comes to zero waste. Part of it's, anyway, that's a whole other thing. We'll get into that in the next episode. But like I said, the music and the gummies, and I'm pro gummy if you feel you can handle it. Oh, and I had to say before I started this video, before I listened to music, I had an out loud imaginary conversation with Trixie and Katya on The Bald and the Beautiful as a guest. I'm begging you to be on your show. I wrote that on one of their latest, because they both got on their favorite shows. And Trixie said, we just have to keep begging people to be on their shows. And so I said, I beg you to let me be on your show. And I haven't heard back. But I don't know where I was going with Trixie and Katya thing. Anyway, they saved me too. Oh, and I hope there's a new I like to watch. Because the last two have been kind of, I don't know. I don't know how much more of the reality TV I can take. I've actually been watching some of their older stuff, like their Halloween ones, and they're just, I love you girls, and I beg you to let me be on your show. I'll do 2 gummies, and we'll see what happens. I think we have a lot to talk about, and I think I'm a hidden demographic of yours that not many people see. So, DM me, as if I know what that means, or would know how to answer any such thing. Deep breaths. Take care of yourselves, and support the channel. Subscribe. I know that it was in the beginning. I keep doing that because of hi, and that's part of the charm. But subscribe and like. I am liking my own, so you know. So all those 1 likes are me, because I'm actually very proud of myself getting on here and doing this. So I can like my own work. The only one? No, I'm the only one. And with that, I say peace out. Oh, shit, my hand.